Will this be the first year that a Canadian-based team won't make it to the playoffs since 1974? Past the first round, we'll find out. Well, let's get you caught up on the action. Lemieux.
Mario Lemieux is going to get a power play. Keith Jones put his team in the hole, taking a penalty early. This is a one-timer off a great pass from Zubov, who did a good job keeping the puck in. Mario buries it there. Mario is happy. You just cannot keep him and Jagger off the board. This is goal number 3. Nedved throws the puck to the net. Francis follows it, and that was it. 3-0 Pittsburgh.
Carey faced 3 shots, allowed 2 goals. Mario Lemieux started off with a sinus problem. I think he's breathing easier.
Actually, it's Mark Messier. He had the sinus problem in Montreal, but he makes a great play here. It's Graves through the middle. Messier to Verbeek, a one-timer wrist shot there. Now, this isn't quite as pretty, but they did this in Game 3. Collapse the front of the net. Jam, jam, jam. Who's going to jam it last? Adam Graves gets his 7th, JB.
And I had the memory problem. Thank you very much, David. 3 goals in 62 seconds for the Rangers. Detroit and Winnipeg.
Wow, we're seeing some talent here. This is Fedorov to Fetisov to Larionov, back to Fedorov to Kozlov. I think Ob in Russian means it's my puck. I'm going to keep it. Detroit's done it. Wonderful job.
And from Dave Maloney, 0 for 25 on the power play. Winnipeg is in this series, and we will have more on the NHL on Fox after this.
At Michelin, we believe a tire that's just good in the rain isn't good enough. Introducing the Michelin X1. With a 6-year, unlimited mileage tread life warranty. It's the one tire that gives you better wet traction than any rain tire, plus control in any driving condition. After all, it hasn't rained that much in years. The Michelin X1.
Can what makes a car look good also make it safer? You'll find the answer in Dodge Stratus. Because along with dual airbags, anti-lock brakes, and ultra-high-strength steel door beams, even the car's shape helps us add side impact protection. It's nice to know that all that is in here, because all this is out there. Dodge Stratus, it's full of answers. Now during the Best Buy celebration, get $1,000 cash savings, 1.9 financing, or a low lease rate.
People say in the town of Flatwoods, the most exciting thing to do is sit around and watch the paint dry, especially when it's Behr Premium Plus, only from Home Depot.
It's going on so smoothly.
Nice color.
It's 100% acrylic.
It's like putting a plastic shell on your house.
And since Behr has a 15-year guarantee, these people know they won't be seeing this much excitement again for quite a while. Behr Premium Plus, the premium paint with a Home Depot price.
1-800-COLLECT presents Saves of the Week.
Right, it's up, boost. Save! Richter made a save!
He's up there. Lindros is stymied by Hoopa.
Murphy all alone. Oh, Trevor Kidd! Curry gets to the puck, he shoots, and a save by T-Bone, it went through him. Stevenson moves in against Kokomo. Save Richter! Great save by Mike Richter.
Delio. How about that love save?
Still dialing 0 to call people collect?
Hello?
Stop! It's expensive. What to do? Dial 1-800-COLLECT. As seen on TV, dialing 1-800-COLLECT instead of 0 saves the people you call up to 44%.
Hello?
Hi, honey. Just dial 1-800-COLLECT. Follow the simple instructions, and your call will go through in seconds.
Oh, hi, Grandma.
Calling home, save yourself money.
What a deal.
Kids love it.
So easy.
1-800-COLLECT. Dial it today.
They're a family unlike any other.
I graduated the 6th grade. Only took 3 years.
From the director of Wayne's World comes the Beverly Hillbillies, Tuesday.
Stepping in, going in around the goal. Denino friendship hitter step. Comes to the line. Lafontaine leads shot. He scores. Lafontaine at the blue line. Here in the 4th overtime. Firing the shot and winning the series.
And welcome back to Hollywood and the NHL on Fox. You know, until this week, that Islanders-Capitals game back in '87 was the longest in the modern era. Well, that's not the case anymore, as the Penguins and, yes, those same Capitals went to 4 overtimes to decide a winner. This game had everything. Great goaltending, a star getting tossed out of the game, and an unheard-of penalty shot in overtime. Unfortunately for Capitals fans, it had the same ending as that Islanders game 9 years ago.
On
100 of Pavaka, back to Gonchar's line. His shot in front, screened by Hunter. Here's a score by Pavaka. Michael Pavaka off the long rebound. It's Washington 1, Pittsburgh 0.
Ken Reggett on in relief from Tom Barrasso. Barrasso did not return to the playing surface for the start of period number 2.
Lemieux bearing in against Cote, getting in for the shot. Save Colsing, rebound, save Colsing. Pep coming back. Mario gets 2 shots on, short-handed. Over the line, left wing side, comes Juneau. He's set up, and a goal is scored by Bondra.
Get the bench, come back charging, they shoot, and they score! Mary Auger.
Oh, now there's a fight breaking out.
Mario Lemieux and Todd Krieger. Lemieux, who you very rarely see display such anger.
As far as I'm concerned, he should be suspended. But then it's Mario, and, you know, I'm Todd Krieger, you know. Who's that?
On the power play for the Pens. Right circle, Peter Nedved walks in, draws up, he shoots, he scores! Nedved pots up, power play goal!
Kept in by Usdorf, left corner to Hunter. It's out to Usdorf, his shot! Big save by Kenny Reggett, his best of the game.
I saw Ken Reggett down the other end putting on a goalie clinic. You know, he robbed Oosty there with his glove, and I felt like I had to match him save for save.
His shot, save, Colsing. Whistles a shot, save, rebound, comes to the goal. Oh!
Tamer got it out of trouble, but he knocked the net off the mooring.
I just dove, and I tried to knock the puck out of the net, and my momentum took me into the net and knocked us off its mooring. Obviously, the ref thought that I did it on purpose. You know, I didn't do it on purpose.
Here comes Juneau, penalty shot on Reggett. Shooting save by Kenny Reggett.
I start feeling that the game's not going to end. You do shift at 15, 20 seconds out there, and you're just exhausted.
How do you maintain concentration?
No, it's real easy. I mean, you just say to yourself, you let one in, we lose.
Zubov winds and shoots. Save on the way in. They bat it free. Zubov, Nedved waits. Deeks, shot, scores! Peter Nedved scores with 44.6 seconds to go in the 4th overtime of this game. Wow!
Wow is right.
Wow is right. Forgive me for being a biased observer. I love this game. That game was terrific. It had everything. Boy, what a hockey game.
Arena fans got the chance to go in late, early morning. Folks that come in wherever you want to be.
Terrific stuff.
All right, folks. And we're going to send you out to your games. Yes, indeed. Right after this.
Extreme heat. It can cause chemical changes in motor oil that can destroy your car's engine. Fortunately, there's Quaker State motor oil, proven to exceed the highest standards car makers have established for protection against the destructive effects of heat. What's the state of your motor oil? Quaker State exceeds the highest standards for engine protection.
Look for the Quaker State 360 rebate during National Car Care Days, plus additional savings from these manufacturers at participating retailers.
This season of sweaty, gritty, crushing engagements is brought to you in part by Speed Stick, the only ring tough enough for this league. Official deodorant sponsor of the NHL.
You don't take orders from anyone but the sea. The harder you work, the more you earn. And the more you earn, the more you keep. And after it's all said and done, you walk away with the two things nobody can take. good friends and good corn.
Work boots. Tough on the outside, tough on your feet inside. Not enough cushioning. Dr. Scholl's Maximum Comfort work insoles give you 100% more cushioning. They make work easier on your feet.
There's only one yard sale big enough for America's backyard. It's America's largest yard sale at Sears, with great savings on all mowers, all tractors, and just about everything for your yard. It's America's largest yard sale at Sears.
At Radio Shack, we carry thousands of electronic parts and accessories. Accessories that make what you already own work better, sound better, play better.
Help! Help!
Just tell us what you need.
Help!
We've even got those hard-to-get items. Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
We are just a couple of minutes away from our nation's capital on a beauty of a spring day. And we're glad you're with us for the Stanley Cup playoffs on Fox. We'll be back after word from your local Fox station.
Tonight,
Oh, my God.
witness the most terrifying animal encounters ever caught on tape. Robert Urich hosts When Animals Attack, tonight at 7, 6 Central.
Your Toyota dealer is proud to be a sponsor of the Prom Promise. Sign the promise to avoid drugs and alcohol on prom night. And keep your promise. Because safe highways take more than just good engineering. At Toyota, we work hard to be sure our cars are among the safest on the highway. But even the safest vehicle is no protection in the hands of an unsafe driver. So don't take chances. Sign the Prom Promise and drive safely. And always remember to buckle up.
Before cars had phones, cup holders, or even roofs, Mobil Oil was there. When Lindbergh crossed the Atlantic, Mobil was on board. Mobil was in the world's first minivans, in the first space shuttle, and in the tanks of Desert Storm. So if you think that all oils are alike, think about something. At Mobil, we've been changing oil for over 125 years.
When your car's brakes need repair, simply replacing a part makes no more sense than tuning one key on a piano. The whole system needs to work together. That's why Midas always begins a brake job with a complete system inspection. That way, the job's done right. And that's music to the ears.
Right now, at participating Midas Auto Systems Expert stores, you'll get 25% off brake shoes and pads, guaranteed for as long as you own your car.
Midas Auto Systems Experts. What can we do for you today?
Gene here with Selections in D.C. with on Fox 5.
The NHL on Fox. The Stanley Cup playoffs are brought to you by the new Dodge. We're thinking ahead. By Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers. By the U.S. Army. Be a part of the toughest, smartest army in the world. Be all you can be. And by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. You live life, you get thirsty. Life is a sport. Drink it up.
Back at US Air Arena, Penguins with a 3-0 lead, looking for the win to wrap up this series. Here's how it's gone. Ole the goalie, the hero in Game 1, as Washington won 6-4 in Pittsburgh. Washington won 5-3 with Pat Beek scoring 2 goals. Game 3, Tom Barrasso, the hero. Pittsburgh came back and won 4-1. Game 4, the marathon. Peter Nedved, the game winner in the 4th overtime. That evened the series. Game 5, Ken Regan in goal for the Penguins. He made 39 saves. Pittsburgh with a 3-2 lead. And here in Game 6, Pittsburgh takes the lead.
And the first goal on the power play. Perfect pass from Sergei Zubov. What a shot by Mario Lemieux off the pass. That made it 1-0 on the power play. The Penguins' second power play. It's Lemieux setting up Yager. How about that move to the backhand to put it in past Jim Carey? We had a goaltending change after that goal. And here's number 3. Nedved the shot. Ronnie Francis getting to the front of the net for the rebound, puts it in the far side past Kolzig. That made it 3-0.
First period statistics are brought to you by Bud Ice. Shots on goal, Penguins 12, Caps 9. Scoring chances 8 for Pittsburgh, 5 for Washington. But the biggest number of all is Pittsburgh 2 for 2 on the power play and the Caps 0 for 2.
Well, the Caps just got off to a terrible start to this game. They did not want to take bad penalties. That was part of their game plan. They did. In the first minute, Keith Jones gets a penalty for running into Ken Regan. That puts Pittsburgh on the power play. It didn't take them long. They moved it around. Mario Lemieux puts them on the scoreboard. And then they end up taking another penalty. And again, Pittsburgh scores on the power play. So the Caps were hoping for a better start. They get behind the 8 ball. Pittsburgh takes advantage of it. And Jim Carey gets replaced after 2 goals. Mario Lemieux and the rest of the Pittsburgh Penguins following the game plan of Eddie Johnston to a T. They wanted to come in. They wanted to test Carey, but they wanted to play conservative and wait for their chances. And they've done that.
Kenny Regan with 9 saves in the game. They look like they've been going low through the 5-hole, Adam.
Which is the place they don't want to go. They've been wanting to go up with the shot, but instead they've been shooting low. That's where Regan's strong.
Underway, second period. Pittsburgh Penguins wearing their 3rd jerseys, and they have not lost with those jerseys in regular season or the playoffs. Peter Bondra, and the Caps need him to do something. Keith Jones checked by Kevin Miller. Lemieux to the puck to sweep it clear. Jim Johnson across to Sylvain Cote. Pavanka, Bondra, and Jones up front for Washington. Jones with the puck takes a hit. Trying to set up Pavanka. He was checked by Kevin Miller. Good coverage one-on-one by the Penguins. Not much room for Washington to do anything. Pavanka against Lemieux in the corner. Jones back to Cote for a long shot. Stopped by Regan. Rebound blocked by Daigneault on Jones and is covered up by Regan.
Excellent defense by Pittsburgh. That whole sequence, even though Washington had control of the puck, they were not getting scoring chances. Eddie Johnson told his players, when Bondra is on the ice, stay close to him. So there's a lot of pressure on Peter Bondra to score goals. He had 52 during the course of the regular season, of course an all-star, but there's not much after that. Even though Michael Pavanka led this team in scoring, Peter Bondra is the one real threat that they have. If you take care of him, it's going to be very difficult for the other Capitals to score.
Eddie Johnston wanted to get the early lead. His team did. But he talks about defense, and for Pittsburgh, when you talk about defense, it's more the forwards helping out the defensemen.
Yeah, that's a great point. Remember, this is a defense unit of this Pittsburgh team. Some of them very young, still learning to play the game. They need help from the veteran players.
Francis able to kick it clear. Francis playing with Yager and Nedved. Yager moves in. Hunter is back. Pass intended for Nedved. Hunter blocked it. Good play. Sergei Gonchar moves it to Steve Konowalchuk. Picked up by Kelly Miller. Now Hunter plays it deep.
Dale Hunter has been doing those types of things for 16 years.
That's right. Mark Tenorti battling Yager. Konowalchuk bats it up into the air. Tamer trying to push it ahead and did. Yager gets knocked down by Tenorti. That's been a battle all series long. Whenever Yager's on, Tenorti is on. And Yager goes back at Tenorti. Tamer fanned on the pass, gave it away. Kelly Miller moves in with Konowalchuk. Sergei Gonchar turns his shot. Stopped by Regan. Rebound, score! Dale Hunter! Regan left the rebound this time. And Hunter there to put it in on a tough shot by Sergei Gonchar. And the Capitals come to life early in the second period.
The Pittsburgh Penguins were making a change on the play. Yager was going off the ice, so they had 2 players back. They are able to come back and play defensive, but look at the 2 guys in front. Only 1 Pittsburgh defenseman. Reggett was able to make the first save. Hunter was there for the rebound. Miller with the initial play. Now they're heading for the net. 1 shot, Hunter there, rebound through Reggett. And Washington with an early goal that might spark them. They're back to within 2 as the veteran Dale Hunter puts the Caps on the scoreboard.
Very important goal scored by the captain, Dale Hunter.
17-year veteran in the National Hockey League, 7 years with the Quebec Nordiques before coming to Washington. He is playing in his 146th career playoff game.
He has never missed the playoffs as a player.
Steve Pops across to Eric Sharon. Mike Eagles wrapped up by Daigneault. Brian Smolinski looking for it, pops out in front. Wilkinson for Pittsburgh, slides it ahead down to the zone. Chases on for the puck. Pops goes back, gets there for the touch, and icing is the call. Mark Tenorti and Jaromir Jagr have been battling, Joe.
Have they ever? Tenorti looking for him. Jagr did not see him coming. But guess what? After the big hit, most players would stay down. Jagr gets back up. Look at this tremendous shoulder hit. Jagr gets hit then coming the other way by Connor Walchuk going the other way. And you talk about toughness. It's not just throwing down the gloves. It's the ability to get back on your feet and get back in the play. And guess what he did? Went down to the other end of the ice. Tenorti ended up with the puck. Jagr went right after him.
Mark Tenorti, who has been a mainstay on defense. Big, strong, tough defenseman for the Washington Capitals. Lemieux, tied up by Pavanka, uses his strength, and he overskated. Shot by Murray is a save. Back behind the play, J.J. Daigneault is down, injured.
Well, what happened on the play, Daigneault had the puck. He ended up getting high stick by Keith Jones. Jones in forechecking, got the stick up on J.J. Daigneault. The officials, I'm not sure anyone saw it. Here it is again. Daigneault with the puck. Look at the stick. Right up in the mouth and the nose. That's by Jones. Daigneault went down and stayed down. The play went around the boards all the way down to the other end. No one knew it.
That started, this whole thing between Jones and Daigneault started on the first shift of the game. It hasn't stopped.
Absolutely correct. There's the high stick again by Jones. Gets it up high. Daigneault stayed down. He's still down. The trainer, Skip Thayer, out attending to him. But getting back to that first shift, Sam, it happened right at the start, and it's been a battle all day.
Inside your engine, the dividing line between protection and destruction is a thin film of oil. Quaker State exceeds the highest standards for protection against thermal breakdown, volatility burn-off, corrosion. What's the state of your motor oil? Quaker State exceeds the highest standards for engine protection.
Look for the Quaker State 360 rebate during National Car Care Days, plus additional savings from these manufacturers at participating retailers.
The high stick apparently went undetected by any of the three officials. Keith Jones remains on the ice. J.J. Daigneault has gone to the bench, shaken up, but shaking his head over no call being made on the play.
That is a huge non-call. Can you imagine Pittsburgh being up by 2 goals and getting a 5-minute power play the way they have played in this game? They might have been able to put this game away in the next 5 minutes. Hard to understand how that's a non-call. Daigneault has the puck. All the eyes are on him. Jones is the only player around, and he clearly had his stick up, and no one saw it.
The scoring on the Washington goal was Dale Hunter's first of the series from Sergei Gonchar and Kelly Miller at 1:43. Kelly Miller, his first point of the series. Keith Jones with the puck, leading Peter Bondra. Bondra pulls up, and off the skate. Shot by Jones, save made by Regan. Back to Jones. Now Pavanka in the corner. For Bondra, it's past him. Lemieux chases it down for Kevin Miller. And Glenn Murray goes one-on-one with Jim Johnson. Johnson takes him out, and Kolzig flicks the puck away. Out comes Cote. Jones. Plays it deep. Francois Leroux to the puck. Missed it. Bondra pushes it back into the corners. Sergei Zubov for Pittsburgh. Out to Lemieux.
The thing we have to remember in this game, even though Pittsburgh dominated the first period and took 3-0 lead, this Washington team works as hard as any team in the league. They will not give up.
Caps have rallied twice. In games 1 and 2, they were down 4-1 in game 1 and came back and won that game. Kelly Miller with a hustling effort gets tied up by Chris Joseph. Hunter checked by Francis. Connor Walchuk hit by Leroux. Back pass to Gonchar. Now to Tenorti. He's open. Saved by Regan. Puck bounces down. Nedved Stopped by Tenorti. It's out of the zone. Offside. Offside, Washington. Tenorti tried to keep it in, but just couldn't do it as the Caps start to apply pressure on Ken Regan.
It's about change. About breaking rules and making new rules. About building machines more in harmony with humanity. It's about questioning everything. It's about change. The new Dodge.
The two big guys, Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr, 1-2 in the NHL scoring in the regular season. Starting to go. Shutout, goal-scoring-wise early. They're starting to pick it up and come on.
Well, they've been obviously two big factors in this game thus far today. Mario Lemieux, the first goal of the game, also added an assist on the Jagr goal.
Jagr has had a point in each of the 6 games in this series. Getting into today's game also has a 5-game assist streak. Eagles tied up along the boards. Wilkinson away with the puck for Pittsburgh. 3-1, Penguins leading it. A little over 4 minutes gone by in the second period. Steve Pops with the puck.
And this is where this line of Pittsburgh has to try and take advantage of the two young defensemen on Washington's defense. Jim Schoenfeld will only play those two defensemen against the Smolinski line. So it's a good opportunity for Pittsburgh to get some scoring chances.
And the other 4 defensemen are playing 25 to 30 minutes. There's a penalty upcoming. Penalty has been called, I believe, on Washington in the offensive zone. This is another bad penalty. Todd Krieger is the man going off.
And Pittsburgh has to take advantage of it. Again, it's J.J. Daigneault in the corner. Daigneault had control of the puck, and he gets pulled down by Krieger.
Time for a Pizza Hut game break. Let's send it back to Hollywood and JB.
Sam Rosen, I tell you, Mario Tremblay, the coach of the Montreal Canadiens, issued a challenge. He wanted to see some fight out there on the ice. Take a look. Brian Savage to Pierre Turgeon. He scores. It is now game 4-2 Rangers. Back to Sam Rosen. And we love Joe Micheletti.
Thanks, JB. Montreal never gives up, Joe. They've been down to the Rangers 3 goals twice, and they've climbed back into those games. And here, they're within 2 again. That's a team with a lot of heart.
Mario Tremblay has done a wonderful job with that team. Coming out of the broadcast booth to take over the coaching early in the season when that team started 0-5, and he was able to get that team together. Everyone started believing. Some of the young players all of a sudden had more confidence, and they were a very solid team.
Beware the Penguins. They are 2 for 2 on the power play, and they're on their 3rd. Krieger for holding at 4:35. Lemieux with the puck. Zubov and Daigneault, Lemieux, Jagr, and Francis for Pittsburgh. Jagr plays it deep. Washington with Gonchar, Tenorti, Konowalchuk, and Miller. This is Konowalchuk against Zubov. Good play by Steve Konowalchuk to stay with the puck. Good effort, looking for a man to pass to. Zubov took him down, took the puck away. Fans wanted a penalty called on the Penguins.
That's a good, solid defensive play by Zubov all the way back. Even though Konowalchuk had the puck, he didn't have a chance.
Lemieux moves in, his shot deflected high off the glass. Mario was open. They left him open. Almost had a good scoring chance.
Well, what happens when you start?
Here's Pavanka trying to break down. He's checked by Jagr. He's taken down in front of referee Terry Gregson, but nothing called on the play. Jagr picks up the puck, moves it on Tenorti, who sweeps it aside. It comes to Lemieux. Out to Zubov. Looking. Now Daigneault. Back for Zubov. It bounces out of the zone. Pavanka and Eagles on with Tenorti and Gonchar for Washington. 30 seconds to go on the power play for Pittsburgh. Lemieux gave it up to Gonchar. Can't clear. Lemieux lost it, and it's batted out by Eagles.
Dan, the point I was going to make earlier is that when you start taking the shot from the point like Pittsburgh did early in the game on the power play, then the penalty-killing unit starts putting more pressure on. Then that opens up the passing lanes, and you'll see more players get opportunities from the slot.
Nedved to Sandstrom. Nedved, Sandstrom, and Kevin Miller on. Shot by Sandstrom goes wide. Around to Chris Joseph, who's on with Chris Tamer. Joseph shot, save made by Kolzig. Tough low shot by Joseph. Krieger's back. Teams are at full strength. Pittsburgh fails for the first time on the power play in the game. They're 2 for 3. The clear goes all the way down. It'll be an icing on Washington. 13-12 to go in the second. Pittsburgh leading 3-1.
Peter Nedved has as hard a wrist shot as anyone in the league, and we have seen it in this series. When he has the opportunity, he lets it go. Eddie Johnson saying the hardest wrist shot he has ever seen, and he was a goaltender in this league for 16 years. Here's the winner the other night. 4th overtime, faked the shot, and then let it go through a maze of players. That puck had eyes as Kolzig didn't see it, but he has been a tremendous force in this series. And what a season for Peter Nedved, who will be looking for a new contract.
Yes, and he's got some strong numbers to talk about. Ken Klee moves it for Craig Berube. Berube against Tamer. Good hit by Tamer, takes him out. Wilkinson checks Ustorf, allowing Dave Roach to play the puck. Up for Brian Smolinski. He's hit by Ken Klee. Hard hitting Ustorf. Now Berube gets knocked down by Smolinski. Tamer. Nice touch pass. Murray moves in. Smolinski shoots. Save made by Kolzig. Sharon moves it. It was tipped, and Ustorf takes over. On Ustorf. Through the zone. LaRue sends it back. Yager looking for the puck. Comes across, and LaRue will play it. 12:20 to go in the second period. Pittsburgh leading 3-1.
And the next goal of this game, so important. Should Pittsburgh score to make it 4-1, you'll see them probably regain control again. But since Washington has scored the goal, you see a little bit more jump.
Todd Krieger with good speed. Centering pass, and Brunette was checked beautifully by Ron Francis. Great defensive play by Ron Francis in front. Brunette with Francis on him again. Here comes Krieger another time against Joseph. Spins by him, gets a shot off, a save by Regan. He made another save off Brunette. Nedved gets pulled down and nothing called. Brunette hooked Nedved down. Nedved able to clear the zone.
And another good play by Francis coming back again in front of the net.
Washington Capitals have really picked up their level of play here in the second period. Joseph back for it.
Sam, they're starting to hit a little bit more. That's getting the crowd into it. The players on the bench are getting a little bit more excited. And now Pittsburgh has to try and regain some momentum of their own. But Washington, give them credit. They're coming back and down just by 2 goals.
So the numbers on the hits. Washington with the big edge. Jim Johnson forced back by Kevin Miller. Cote hit by Joe Dietzig. He's a physical player. Bondra. Now Jim Johnson carries in. One-time Pittsburgh Penguin. Johnson was traded in 1991 to the Minnesota North Stars, played in the finals against Pittsburgh that year. The Penguins, Stanley Cup champions in 91 and 92. Bondra's pass intended for Johnson. Lemieux broke it up. Johnson lifting it on goal from the sharp angle, and Reggett gloved it and held it. 10:40 remaining, second period. Caps pressing the Penguins.
Hello. How's your butt ice? Doobie, doobie, doo.
It's the 3rd one tonight.
It's okay. The police are tracing the call. Hello.
Doobie, doo. Doobie, doobie.
Drink Bud Ice. Beware the Penguins.
Sir?
374-90042.
Account code.
963400.
Key code. Since the last thing you need is one more number to remember, MasterCard is developing the single-digit PIN code. Someday, a computer chip in your card will recognize your unique mark, so your personal identification code is personal. It's how the future will be paid for. MasterCard. It's smart money.
This is something Pittsburgh did not do in games 1 and 2. Look at all those players back in the black for Pittsburgh. And here comes Washington. They're trying to generate some scoring chances. Look at the defense here. All the black sweaters coming back to help out. That's an excellent job defensively by Pittsburgh, concentrating and trying not to give up any scoring chances by the Caps.
And the University of Michigan product, Chris Tamer, one of the key players on defense. Peter Bondra has been frustrated a little bit in this series. Ken Reggett, who has been a fine goaltender, and Eddie Johnson says if Ken Reggett continues to play the way he's been playing, he'll keep him in there. He'll ride the hot goaltender even when Tom Barrasso is healthy and ready to play.
Sounds like the smart thing to do, doesn't it?
Yep.
What do you need to win in the playoffs? No matter what kind of a team you have,
hot
you have to have, that's right, a hot goalie.
Cote, long shot, save made by Reggett, dropped it off. Chance for Kelly Miller, off the glove. Reggett made a save. Konowalchuk in the corner against Tamer. Tamer's stick being held by Hunter. Smolinski kicks the puck up, but it's taken by Kelly Miller. Miller against Zubov. Got a shot off to the side of the net. Reggett pokes it into the corner. Zubov blocked again by Miller. Miller after the puck. Now Konowalchuk, checked by Smolinski. Zubov looks it around for Tomas Sandstrom, and he clears the zone. Nedved chases after it, beaten to it by Cote.
And what a battle we had in front of the net with Mark Hunter and Chris Tamer. Not Mark, Dale Hunter and Chris Tamer.
Bondra couldn't tee up his shot. Out come the Penguins. Cote goes back for it. 9:45 to go in the second. Caps were down 2-0 and 4-1 in game 1. Came back to win 6-4. They were down 2-0 at the end of the first period in game 2. Came back to win 5-3. Jaromir Jagr against Sergei Gonchar. Jagr's pass blocked, deflects out of the zone. Right here, Penguins with a 3-1 lead. Trying to wrap up the series. Pavanka's pass was off the skate of Keith Jones. Peter Nedved.
There, boy.
And the Penguins playing it safe, Joe. Not taking any, don't seem to be taking any kinds of chances offensively here.
They learned a good lesson in game 1, didn't they? Trailing 4-1 and allowing the Washington Capitals to come back. Here's the battle we are talking about in front. Dale Hunter, Chris Tamer. Two competitors. Hunter, the smaller player, but has always been very feisty. Look at this as it continues. There, a little bump into Reggett. Now watch Tamer. The puck's away from the play, and there's Tamer, a little shot. Now the referee, Terry Gregson, was watching the exchange the whole way, including the last play, and he let it go.
Chris Tamer credits his brother John for really helping him get to the National Hockey League. He feels he really inspired him, and his brother was a minor league player in professional hockey. Tamer has really come on. Joined the team last season, and he has really come on big for them this year. Jim Johnson winds up his shot, goes wide, bangs off the glass. Cote keeps it in, took a hit from Kevin Miller. Eagles shot deflected off Mario Lemieux's skate, and Reggett made a save. Jim Johnson. Lee puts it in the Pittsburgh zone. Washington out shooting Pittsburgh 9-3 here in the second period. Scored 1 goal, trying to get back in it. Lemieux with speed against Cote. Cuts in and shoots. Saved by Kolzig. The rebound behind the net. Johnson battling Glenn Murray. Wraparound try by Miller is stopped by Kolzig. All out Kolzig needs to be strong. He stopped Kevin Miller.
Pizza Hut, your triple deckeroni pizza.
Baby.
Whoa.
Wow! What a piece
Pizza Hut triple pepperoni pizza. 90 pepperoni pieces, 6 cheeses, 2 crusts, 1 hellacious taste.
As a rule, engines develop good torque only when you push hard on the accelerator. But even at idle speed, a Dodge Magnum V8 can pull not only this loaded Ram 1500, but this loaded 2500, and a loaded 3500 as well. 15 tons. That's because every Ram truck has to pull much more than its own weight, even at idle speed. That's our rule. Dodge Ram. The rules have changed.
There's only one yard sale big enough for America's backyard. It's America's largest yard sale at Sears, with great savings on all mowers, all tractors, and just about everything for your yard. It's America's largest yard sale at Sears.
Here's what the Western Conference playoffs look like right now. 3 winners, Colorado, Chicago, and St. Louis have advanced. Detroit leading Winnipeg 3 games to 2 and leading in Game 6. Colorado led by Joe Sakic and Peter Forsberg, and of course the man they're counting on in goal, Patrick Roy, winning in Vancouver last night, taking that series in 6.
Patrick Roy made some huge saves towards the end of the game, and Joe Sakic back-to-back game winners in games, well, in the games he won, games 3 and 4 to win the series, which would have been games 5 and 6. Sakic in overtime had the hat trick, and it was after that game that Mark Crawford, the coach, said he has really become a leader.
Last year, when they were the Quebec Nordiques, they were ousted in the first round by the Rangers. This year, they've advanced to the second round, where it looks like they will play Chicago if Detroit wins and eliminates Winnipeg.
Well, that franchise hasn't been to a second round since 1987, so congratulations to Joe Sakic. He's been through some lean years there.
Puck around the boards with 7:55 remaining. It's deflected up into the crowd. 3-1 Pittsburgh update. Let's go to Hollywood and JB.
Sam and Joe, I'll try to do this one delicately. Power play goal coming up by the Rangers. Take a look at Alexei Kovalev across the blue line. Sets up the pass to Doug Lichter. The shot, and it goes off of the buns of Patrice Brisebois. 5-2. Rangers. Back to Sam and Joe.
JB, I thought you were very delicate with that. Doug Lichter has given the Rangers a lift. He hadn't played the first 4 games of the series, played very well in Game 5, and in on that goal off the buns of Patrice.
JB, he's a smoothie, isn't he?
He sure is.
I didn't know he loved us like he does.
I think you were his favorite defenseman. I'm telling you. I think he watches all your games. He got the tapes. Battle for the puck. Tamer moves it to Yager. Nedved's wide on the left side. Yager against Tenorti. Holds up. Looks for a trailer. Plays it across. Francis against Gonchar. Nedved checked by Hunter. Puck loose to Kelly Miller. His pass was blocked. Hunter missed it. Then plays it away from Nedved. Nedved gets there. Hunter against Francis. Tenorti looks for room. Finds Gonchar. Second-year defenseman from Russia carries it across and lost it. Lemieux comes out with Nedved. Bondra is back trying to play defense. Lemieux goes around him, and Bondra with a good play tied up Lemieux's stick and forced the puck wide.
There's the defense we were talking about. Mario Lemieux playing starting in game 3, makes the defensive play in his own zone, turns it into an offensive rush.
Jones and Bondra 2-on-1. The shot saved, made by Reggett. A big save by Ken Reggett. As the leading goal scorer of the Caps, Peter Bondra had a big chance, and there's a penalty upcoming on Washington. A hooking call is going to give Pittsburgh another power play.
And that will go against Peter Bondra, I believe, after the scoring chance. Frustrated that he didn't put it in. Here's Jones with the puck. Now the perfect pass. Remember, they want to get the puck high on Reggett, but the puck is low. He's able to make the kick save with his right pad. Now back the other way. Murray trying to get out. There's Bondra with the stick on the right knee. He goes down. The referee is right there, and he makes a call. Meanwhile, how about Bondra as a defenseman? How'd you like to be a forward with Mario Lemieux coming down on you? That's just a wonderful effort by Bondra to stop Mario Lemieux.
But it's Bondra in the penalty box for hooking at 13:21. The Penguins have their 4th power play of the game. They're 2 for 3. They scored on their first 2. Concern on the part of Jim Schoenfeld.
His best player gets a couple of chances and doesn't score. We talked about it before. If Peter Bondra is not going to score the goals for you, who is?
Yeah.
And he's had a couple of chances, and again, a good play. He got the shot off quickly, which he knew he had to do. He's a goal scorer. Didn't quite get it high enough, and there's Ken Reggett again. Focused, makes the pad save. Bondra out of frustration, pulls down Murray, and Pittsburgh's back on the power play.
13:21 the time. Pittsburgh leading 3-1. Second period, they have Smolinski, Miller, Sandstrom, Joseph, and Tamer. Well, this is a different look to the power play for Pittsburgh, but of course Lemieux was on the ice just moments ago.
This will be a short shift.
Smolinski sends it deep. Bolzing missed it. Sandstrom to the puck. Kevin Miller. Smolinski was in front. Johnson and Cote for Washington with Konowalchuk and Kelly Miller. Chris Tamer winds up. Long shot. Save. Bolzing the rebound. Sandstrom was tied up by Cote. He had an open net for the rebound, but he couldn't get a shot off.
That's what Eddie Johnson likes about having Sandstrom on the ice on the power play to get in front. Tamer saw that and made the right play, able to walk in and take the shot. And a good job by Colson.
And you were right, short shift. There's Mario and Jaromir Jagr on the ice for Pittsburgh, and they are joined by Ron Francis. Tamer and Joseph staying on with 1:05 to go on the power play.
I think Tamer's on his way off also.
Jagr. Francis carries in against Pavanka. Offside, Pittsburgh on the play. Washington penalty killing, 83%. Today has been their worst day. Miller, Eagles, Tenorti, and Gonchar very important for the Caps.
They have been, and not only, especially Johnson and some of those players, Eagles blocking a lot of shots. But again, what they've done against this Pittsburgh power play unit, they've said, okay, you can take the point shot, but we're going to take away those passes around the net and get our sticks in the passing lane. That's what they've taken away. But in this game today, 2 power play goals for Pittsburgh. They've taken the shot from the point, and that's been the difference.
Daigneault and Zubov have come on. This is J.J. Daigneault driving it in. Zubov stops it. Pavanka out to check him. Zubov looking down low. Francis is screening Bolzing. The pass missed by Zubov. Took his eyes off it. Sends it back to Lemieux. Now Zubov heads in again. Daigneault brings it down against Tenorti. Penguins spread it out. Daigneault holding. Jagr's calling for the puck, but the pass across intercepted by Pavanka. This is Mike Eagles carrying in. Zubov back. Backhander knocked away by Reggett. And 5 seconds remain the penalty to Peter Bondra.
Pittsburgh just trying to force that pass. You can't force it because Washington is waiting for it.
Nedved for Jagr. Cuts in. Teams are back at full strength. Dave Roach centers all the way through. Zubov cleared out by Krieger. Nedved. Lost to Tamer. 4:25 to go in the second period. Pittsburgh 3, Washington 1. Game 6 of this best-of-7 series. With the Penguins leading 3-2. Stefan Ustor across with Cote. Feed to Krieger. In front. Set wide on the backhand by Cote. Jagr fires around the boards and out of the zone. If there's a Game 7, should Washington come back to win this one, it would be in Pittsburgh Tuesday night. Bondra winds up. Long shot is a save by Reggett. No rebound. He holds on. 3:53 to go in the second. Caps trying to come back against Pittsburgh.
Introducing the new Pepsi Stuff catalog. Now, the more Pepsi you drink, the more great stuff you're going to get.
Sure beats the bus.
Imagine your feet are under attack by many flesh-eating predators. That's athlete's foot. To cure them all, you have to kill them all. Lotrimin AF. Full prescription strength medicine. The brand doctors recommend most. Lotrimin AF, the killer cure.
Introducing the Michelin X1 with a 6-year unlimited mileage tread life warranty. It gives you better wet traction than any rain tire. plus control in any driving condition. After all, it hasn't rained that much in years.
New Year's Eve, 1999. Earth runs out of time. Doctor Who is coming Tuesday, May 14th.
Next week, the Stanley Cup playoffs continue on Fox. We'll have coverage of the second round, the conference semifinals. Check your local listings for time and game in your area next Sunday, 3 o'clock Eastern, 12 Pacific on Fox. Hey, there's a young Penguins fan. Lots of Penguins fans here, Joe.
Hard to tell what building we're playing.
Sharon shot through a screen. Reggett made the save. Zubov moves the puck. Dave Roach able to clear the zone. Michael Pomanka is there for Washington. Keith Jones bangs it off the boards, but Smolinski sends it away. He pops, drives it back in. Bondra. Now Jones. Good defensive coverage here by Pittsburgh. Centering pass. Reggett got the stick on it. With Bondra going to the net hard. Reggett made a good play. Smolinski for Sandstrom. Gets a shot off, stick to side by Kolzig. If you joined us late, Jim Carey started this game for Washington in goal, went 6 minutes, 3 seconds, and then was replaced by Olaf Kolzig after giving up 2 goals on 2 power plays for Pittsburgh.
And Keith Jones in front of the net. Watch him right there, number 9. Look at the stick. Little slash on Ken Reggett before he goes to behind the net to pick up the puck. And if there has been one capital that has tried to put pressure on Ken Reggett in this game, it's been Jones. Right from the opening face-off, he ran into Reggett behind the net, could have avoided him, did not, and that put Pittsburgh on the power play, and they scored early.
Reggett had a bad groin, Jones had a bad groin pull, tried to come back a little too soon and re-injured it, and missed most of the end of the regular season. And back for only his second game. Here's Cote shooting, and it's blocked. Daigneault clears the zone. Johnson back for it. Boards and out of the zone. Konowalchuk tied up. Lemieux sends it back in.
Got to be impressed with the way Pittsburgh has played defensively.
Yes.
Washington continues to work hard. We've talked about all their injuries. Not quite as much talent as Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh, they're just deciding that everyone's going to come back and keep the scoring chances to a minimum, and they've done that.
Caps' only goal coming on a rebound. Gonchard's shot. Hunter the rebound. Yager moving it to Nedved. Francis drops it for Yager. Yager shoots, saved by Kolzig. Francis looking for the rebound. Taken out by Tenorti. Good shot by Yager. Kolzig making a fine save.
Yager made the defensive play first in his own zone, went all the way behind the net, made a good defensive play, and ended up with the scoring chance.
Yager is tied up with Tenorti along the boards. The puck deep in the corner. Ustorf against Zubov. Eagles trying to move it. Smolinski trying to clear it. Knocks down Eagles. The long shot by Cote went wide. Tenorti against Yager. Klee turns his shot, deflects across. And the puck cleared out by Peter Nedved. Ken Klee has it. Washington not known as a high-scoring team, missing 2 good offensive players in Pat Peake and Joey Junot. The Caps started with 6 goals in Game 1, 5 goals in Game 2, but only 4 in the next 3 games and 1 thus far this afternoon. And the power play, which was off to a great start again with Pat Peake and Joey Junot leading the way. Junot had 6 assists in the first 2 games.
You can't. It's so difficult to win as it is when you have all your players healthy. But when you start talking about those types of players, the good offensive players like a Junot that can kill penalties as well, when you lose those players, it's just so difficult to win. And then you have to face a goaltender like Ken Reggett, who comes into the series unexpectedly and has just stopped everything.
Reggett has a great mindset for a goaltender. He seems to be so relaxed coming into that position, and you know him from your days of coaching in St. Louis, Joe.
Yeah, when I was coaching in St. Louis and Reggett was playing for Toronto, I remember a series back in '86-'87 where he's playing exactly like he's playing now. So he's a veteran, he's been through it, and mentally he's perfect.
Lemieux is stopped by Kolzig. Olaf Kolzig, again, He, too, with a great mindset for a backup goaltender. Thrust into this series, he has come up big. He did give up 1 goal in the first period, but he's made some big saves on Yager and Lemieux here in the second period. Coming up during the second intermission, JB and Dave Maloney bring you all the scores and highlights from today's Stanley Cup playoff action. And don't miss Fox Sports Choice Cuts, features the best plays and the hottest players from this year's Stanley Cup playoff. All that and more from our Hollywood studios during the second intermission.
And if all these scores hold up in the East, it'll be the Pittsburgh Penguins and the New York Rangers, and Florida and Philadelphia. Philadelphia will have a heck of a battle as well.
Rangers and Penguins have not met since 1992, when the Penguins went on to win the Stanley Cup championship. Penguins eliminated the Rangers in the second round. Lemieux got injured. Yager picked it up. Penguins went on and won the cup. 45 seconds to go in the second period. Here in Landover, Maryland, the puck is fired up into the crowd, stopping play. Penguins with a 3-1 lead. Philadelphia Flyers had a real tough, nasty series with Tampa Bay, but they came through. Bobby Corkum had a goal last night. Eric Lindros, an excellent game. John LeClaire is back, and Ron Hextall gave them steady goaltending. They settled down after the game we did last week, Joe, and won the last 3 games of that series.
Well, they're a team that can do so many different things if they put their mind to it. They certainly have the size to compete against any team that's still in the playoffs. That's going to help them. Ron Hextall has had his best season, and maybe the best season ever for him. He's playing very steady, and they can score goals. They've added some depth. They can score goals if they have to. And, you know, Tampa Bay, give Tampa Bay a lot of credit.
Oh, yeah.
They hung in there. Terry Crisp with his group. You look at that lineup and you wonder, how did they do it? A lot of young kids.
I think they did a lot more in that playoff series than most people expected. Doherty moves it.
Now, a lot of people thought that was going to be 4 and out, and that Philadelphia would walk through it. This was probably good for Philadelphia to get this kind of competition early.
Hunter had a good hit in the corner on Tamer. Hunter tied up by Tamer. Jones tries to work the puck deep. Zubov there to play it. Final seconds of the period. Zubov controlling the puck and will run out the clock, and that's it. So the Caps put some pressure on. They got 13 shots on goal in that second period, trying to climb back into the game. Olaf Kolzig did a good job in goal, but they could only score 1. At the end of 2, Pittsburgh 3, Washington 1. We'll go back to Hollywood after these messages. You're watching the NHL on Fox.
The NHL on Fox. The Stanley Cup playoffs are brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT, the way to save on collect calls. By MasterCard.